Okay, good morning. This is Key Creative Studio and Master Drawing Japan. I want to share something with you guys. I did a video about a comparison between John Buscema and Frank Frazetta in terms of like their sketching laying process. Um, I just so happen to own a couple of John Buscema originals here. Nothing to brag about. You know, I know there are people out there with much better originals, but I have these two. Well, this is a full sheet here, and this is a I don't know, part of a sheet. I don't know. This looks like he drew this one on I don't know, looks like some sort of like ivory cardstock or something like that, as opposed to like a comic page, because it's a little bit like an ivory color. Anyway, yeah, the thing I'm gonna talk and talk about John Buscema a lot, because as far as I'm concerned, I think he was the one of the best people at drawing gestures over at Marvel, or in comics during his time. So and I'm sorry I can't zoom in exactly, but I hope you guys can see this. So actually, what I really like about these two sheets is because all of these drawings are actually they're not completed. Actually, he didn't fully ink all of them, or at least on this one, he did a little bit, but still you could see some of the pencil sketch underneath. So now I'm I'm old enough to actually enjoy when John Buscema was doing his run over at Marvel, especially Conan the Barbarian. That's what I really fell in love with his work. Actually, I was in love with his work before. I mean, I loved his work, but I didn't really understand like why. Like why I kept on coming back to his work over at Conan, and a lot of it really had to do, with the way he was laying in the gesture. So anyway, to get to the point, now you could see, like, his lines underneath this. They're very loose. They're very 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 loose, and then and I'm not really good at inking, but I know, one basic rule when it comes to, like, when you start like refining or like embellishing the figure after, like, you've broken it down. You don't like trace over it. Actually, you draw, you draw over it again, with, whether it's an ink, or whether, it's with a more confident line. The point is not to trace, because that's the reason why, like, all these ink lines look so natural. Because actually he was just using like what's underneath under as a guide. This page here, actually, I just acquired recently, and I'm a little bit scared to take it out, but I'm gonna take it out for you guys, so that there's no glare on it. And yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. Actually, I'm very very proud to own this piece. Actually, there's a little sketch on the back here too, which I also like. Um, uh, if anyone like knows anything about John Buscema, like, he was always famous, for um, doing these little study sketches on the back of the actual breakdown pages, like he was doing for Marvel. So some people, who might acquire a page, are getting a treat. Sometimes, there'll be a little surprise for them on the back. So, but actually, let me take a look at this one here. So this the same thing. You see like how very light his pencil lines are. Now, I want to keep something in mind. I've never actually seen John Buscema like truly like draw from beginning to end. There is one video online, and I think it's part of a documentary on comics where there's a short clip of John Buscema drawing Captain America and actually like inking it afterwards. And you can see like when he's drawing, he draws like very 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 loose. By the way, he holds the pencil in a very loose way. And that's an important thing. Like when you draw it in a very 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 loose way because he's just breaking down like what the actual gesture is and just like putting in like the volumes after that. And after that, he went to town with a brush and I think also a what do you call it, and a fountain, not a fountain pen, but quill pen, after that. So but I think there's another thing we should keep in mind. Even though yeah, you can see all these gray lines here, of course, like of the pencils. I don't know what kind of pencil he was working with. I'm willing to bet he was just working with just like a regular number two or an HB pencil, because these lines here are they're very loose, but they're kind of tight in a way. They're just soft enough so that there's some freedom here, but you can tell it's not like an H pencil, like where he's digging into the paper, and I know he didn't draw this in a heavy way. But yeah, there's another thing I wanted to also make note of. I don't know what his exact process was all the time, but like looking at some of his roughs, and then like looking at the finished product, it's pretty easy to see that he was most likely working with a light table. I know he was good enough, like to do like a finished drawing on from start to finish, like on one sheet, but the man had to produce a lot of work, within a short period of time, so having a light table, would enable something like that. Gosh, man, I just noticed this drawing here, this guy like getting hit like with a, I don't know, with a chair or something like that, and then yeah, he's getting well, the guy behind him, I guess, was holding a knife, so he's getting stabbed. I mean, this is such a beautiful a beautiful pair of gestures, and this is really like showing all the things I like to talk about, which is the gesture, the volumes, the rhythm, and like the weight. All that is in this drawing. It's such a nice drawing. But and so in terms of like the light table, I'll show you something really quick, actually. So where is it? Okay. All right. So this is put this over here. I'll come back to this in a moment. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is a study by me. And it's something I'm trying to work out for myself, just for practice. So this is a rough I did of a composition, and now the way I draw, I tend to draw like with a very a relatively like soft pencil. So so there's a lot of tone and shadow in here. So it's not as tight. You can see it's not as tight as these pencils here. But that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if John was even or just as like scribbly as I was here, because what I gather is like, he would do like a very very loose rough, something like this, and then he would go back to his light table, and yeah, oops, and then he would work it out here, um, and basically he would redraw all the volumes, but he would do it of course he would do it in a very very loose way, so that he would have so we have like he would have like a clear pencil like this, and it'll be a lot easier for him like to ink, because obviously he had a lot of um, experience drawing and knowing the figure, but pretty much that's how 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 he worked, and I don't know for a fact, for because I never actually saw him work, but I did. There's a Facebook group called, I think it's called like the Artistry of John Buscema, which I really recommend you guys to follow, if you guys are interested in John Buscema, or you're interested in figure drawing. I highly recommend it. Anyway, his daughter actually is part of that group, and she from time to time, like she will um, she will comment, or she will like clarify things for people, and one of the things she did clarify on that group was that John Buscema definitely did use a light table when he was working. So um, okay, all right, so and hopefully maybe someday I'll do a video of me finishing this drawing. Actually, one of these days I'll do it. Oops, hope this is not too bright for you guys. So anyway, I just wanted to show this to you, in terms of how he would lay in his figures and things like that. Um, John Buscema is pretty much like really like one of the best people in comics to study in terms of like figure drawing. All of his figures definitely have a lot of weight to it, and the volumes are really strong and powerful and clear. So anyway, I'm gonna stop here for today. I hope this was a little bit helpful for you, a little bit insightful, and I'll come back and I'll see you guys later. All right, bye bye.